Ayo, LAZ, check this episode. This is Truth Parker interviewing me on his Truth Beyond These Walls podcast. You heard this is a deep interview, and we doing it while he locked up in the penitentiary. My bro got a podcast that's popping while he in state prison. You heard? That's a grind. Check this episode.
Waveflame Productions.
This is a prepaid call from
Truth.
an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections.
To accept this call, your current balance is $3.29. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Thank you for using GTL.
Welcome y'all to Truth Beyond These Walls. This is where we discuss, share, give insight, facts, and personal opinions on my first-hand experiences living real life from inside the prison walls. By the way, I'm Truth. I'll be your personal tour guide through these dimly lit hallways, the dirty, cold, and cramped cell blocks, and the underworld of this chaotic, grim, dark, rowdy, and lonely, dangerous, broken home for many that we refer to as the belly of the beast. Make no mistake, what you're about to hear is 100% facts. You're not going to find it anywhere else more descriptive and realer than I give it up. So open your mind a bit, take a few minutes to soak up what I'm going to reveal, and walk with me through the depths of this living hell on earth that we so commonly refer to as the Department of Corrections, or otherwise known as prison. Yo, what's up everybody out there? You know, as always, I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth Beyond These Walls. You know, I got a special guest joining me on the line today. You know, this is a real good friend of mine, you know, intelligent, motivated brother, made a hell of a name for himself. You know, he's also no stranger to life behind the bars as well. You know, he actually documents tons of those raw prison stories on his YouTube channel, but we're going to get to that though. You know, he's also very well known for his music and social media presence, as well as being well respected in these streets. So, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce y'all to my man, my homie, better known as Saint Laz. What's good, Laz? What's going on? How you feeling, brother?
What's good, my brother? What's goody? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, it's good to finally get you on this joint, man. I've kind of been anticipating doing this with you for a minute. You know, I'm glad we can finally make it make sense and make it happen, you know?
No doubt. It's an honor, my bro. It's an honor.
No doubt. I'm gonna just jump right into it, man. So, you know, for the folks that don't know you, man, or may not be familiar, let them know where you're from, man.
I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn, man, New York City. You know, I lived all over New York, but I'm originally from the Ville, Brownsville. You heard Dykeman, 200 block. I get around, man, like Pac. You heard?
No doubt, man, no doubt. If you don't mind me asking, man, how much of your life was spent behind bars, man?
I did 6 years. I did 6 years straight on my bed. And, you know, unfortunately, I've been in and off Rikers Island about 4-5 times, months here and there. But I just did one 6 years state bid, and, you know, thankfully, I never returned back for another state bid. I just got locked up a few more times until I got my act together.
Yeah, all that was in New York State Prison?
Yes, sir.
Word. So how old was you, man, when you first got incarcerated?
I was 16 years old, man. I was 16 years old when I caught my initial case. And basically, at that time in New York, you could be charged as a straight adult at 16. Now, you got to be 18. You got to be 18 to be charged as an adult now. But I was charged as a straight adult. 16, I had a murder charge. And, yeah, bro, I went to jail at 16. I came home like 23.
Damn, so you was like an adolescent for real.
Yeah, nah, I grew up in the penitentiary, man. I grew up in state prison. Shit was whack.
So, damn, I mean, how tough was it being a teenager, you know, being around all those grown-ass men in prison?
I mean, you know, I was a young, dumb teenager, so I didn't even, I mean, I knew the severity of it, but I didn't realize the situation I really was in, man. You feel me? Till later on down the line, I'm like, damn, I was really 17 and the maxes with, you know, with dudes doing 100 years, murderers. You feel what I'm saying? And I was 17 when I hit the max behind them walls with no hair on my face. Now I mean, light skin, looking like a damn. You heard? had to back my ratchet out on the booty end of the two. You feel what I'm saying? But I look back at it now, man, and I'm like, yo, I can't believe I survived that whole bid, bro. Like, you know, it was when you win it, you win it. You feel me? When you win it, you win it. You don't care. You be a part of the problem. But now that I'm home and trying to get my life together, I look back at that shit. I was like, damn, bro. Know what I mean? They actually had me in some of the worst jails in the state, and I survived that shit. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you know, make no mistake about it. I know you was housed in one of the toughest and deadliest prison systems in the whole country, you know, especially at that time. And, you know, I know you've seen probably some of the wildest shit imaginable, you know, some shit that the average person probably couldn't even fathom or even begin to understand. You know, and I'm more than sure everybody knows, you know, when you describe prison as a negative place, you know, that's kind of an understatement, you know, but on the flip side to all of that, as far as negative energy and all that, give me something like anything positive, you know, that you might have got out of doing the time you did.
You know, I was incarcerated with my uncle, you understand? And basically, you know, son wasn't officially my uncle, but that was the dude that my mom was with all her life, older brother. And son was G.O.D., he was guard body. And basically, he gave me knowledge of self, you feel me? I got hit at the board, and I was so stressed. They hit me with 2 years. I felt like if I ain't get into some books, I probably wouldn't make it home. You feel what I'm saying? Because I was just mad at the world getting that fresh 24 months to do at the board. So I told that dude, I said, yo, listen, man, I need this knowledge of self or I'm going to lose my mind. You know what I mean? And son started hitting me with them lessons and breaking them lessons down to me. And I got knowledge of self. And you know, that was the best thing that ever happened to me in life. Because before that, I was blind, deaf, and dumb. And then, you know, unfortunately, my enlightener, my uncle, the one that gave me knowledge of self, son did 7 years himself. And he went home. And I'm sending him tights. And he not responding back. And I'm wondering why. Like, yo, why is this dude not responding? Then I kind of find out son came home and the next day he got stabbed and killed, bro. Now, I mean, by the store owner, they got into a dispute over he said something, my enlightener said something to his wife or something. They got into a dispute and he stabbed him and killed him. You feel what I'm saying? The next day, bro, said when he came home from doing 7 years. So that shit just, that drew me forward. That fucked up my whole life. I was distraught. And I ain't want to do nothing but be a savage after that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Real talk. Look, you know, I'm not gonna get into any of the details or nothing, alleged crimes or nothing that you was convicted of that might have landed you in prison in the first place. But you know what I would like to know, and I asked this question to all my guests. You know, after all the court dates was finished, you know, and the trial was over, when the judge handed you that time in your case, what did it feel like? You know, in that very moment, like what was going through your mind?
Yo, you know, the day I was supposed to be sentenced, I kinda jumped bail. You feel what I'm saying? I jumped bail and I bounced, and I was about to try to go on and run, and I ain't have $1 in my pocket. You heard it? My baby moms, my first baby moms told my pops where I was hiding, and he popped up and came and got me and was like, yo, you going to court, man. You know what I mean? You're not going to turn this 3 to 9 to your original offer. My original offer was a 9 to 27. You feel what I'm saying? They was trying to give me a 9 to 27. And or something crazy like that. I wasn't even trying to hear that. You feel what I'm saying? So when I finally got a 3 to 9 offer, I was supposed to show up to court. I absconded. My pops came and got me. He was like, yo, man, you crazy. These people about to give me 3 to 9 years. You could have had 20 pride of life. We fought this case because I had a little paid lawyer and stuff. We fought this case and we got you this 3 to 9. You got to go do that shit. And And you know what I mean? So when I turned myself in, I was just mad, bro. I was mad because I didn't want to go back to jail at all because I was home on bail. I was on the island and I bailed out for 6 months. So, you know, having to go turn is no worse feeling. I'd rather get caught. You understand what I'm saying? Than to have to go turn yourself in and know you're not coming out that bitch for another 6 years. You understand what I'm saying? That shit was rough, bro. So I did that. Then as soon as they put me in the pens, I just hit the switch and turned the streets off and got into chill mode.
Yeah, you know, I always find it interesting, you know, when I get people's responses to that question because, you know, as similar as it is for us and as serious and as life-changing that moment is, you know, the responses are always different. You know, like for me, personally, like I've told this story numerous times, you know, when the judge, he told me 40 years, you know, that shit fucked me up. I almost fainted in the courtroom. You know, it wasn't until I heard him tell me that half of that shit was going to be suspended that I kind of, you know, gained my composure. But anyway, you know, check it out, man. On this platform, you know, I like to do things a little different than what most folks are used to hearing when it comes to these jail topics and these prison tales and personal redemption stories. You know, I really like to try to educate the listeners on things that they might not have ever heard before, you know, or even thought about before when it comes to prison and the people that's here and the transformations that we sometimes go through in and outside of these walls. You know, with that being said, what would you say was one of the most important life lessons that you learned from doing the time you did?
You know, I learned that when you locked up, 80% of the people out there gonna consider you dead and forget you and leave you for dead in there. So, you know, the whole jail experience, prison experience, it made me just realize that you gotta take your freedom seriously out here, man, because, you know, society, you know, criminality and criminals, people that live in the criminal world with a criminal mentality and adhere to the criminal lifestyle, they are 7% of the world's population. The other 93% of the world, they don't like crime. And they don't want nothing to do with crime. So when you choose to be a part of that minority of 7%, you're going to find yourself like any other 7% or low percentile minority, you're going to get the short end of the stick. So I learned from that prison time that, bro, no matter how much a woman loves you, no matter how much your family loves you, your friends, when you are in that penitentiary, 80% of the people you know are going to consider you a corpse. Right. And they don't care about whether you're alive, but they just don't care. You're in a different world. It's a different world in there. You understand? So that's what I learned with this shit. Like, your freedom is not a game, bro. You lose this shit, you go into a different dimension. You feel me? And I keep that in mind with the decisions that I make every day. And I'm not perfect, because when you do jail time, you come home with anger issues and emotional imbalances and all type of shit that I deal with for the rest of my life. But I gotta keep in mind that you could jump out the window, bro, but just know when you go back to that penitentiary, you're going back into another dimension. You understand? And if you built for that, then go ahead and do what you do. But if you're not, you better walk the straight and narrow, bro. So that's what I got from that whole experience.
That's real talk, man. So if you could go back in time, you know, and say something to that teenage lad that, you know, probably would have played a part in maybe keeping you from being running wild in the streets, or even just when you was walking into the system for the first time, you know, what would you say to young lads today? What would you tell them?
Man, you know, I would pull them to the side and tell them, yo, listen, all of them niggas you looking up to when I was 15 and 16 and I was looking up to 18 and 19-year-olds, I would pull myself to the side and say, yo, them niggas is lost kids too, just like you. You may think them niggas is grown, but they lost just like you, and they gonna lead you to being more lost. You feel me? That's what I would tell myself, bro, because all of the niggas who I followed behind and wanted to be like and wanted to sling and blow my gun like them, all of them niggas ended up dead, on heavy drugs, accused of the worst crimes of that humanity think about, or they just lost in life, man. You know what I mean? And you know, you can't be looking up to the blind can't lead the blind, man. And I'll tell myself that, yo, listen, you being led by the blind right now. Wisen the fuck up and get your shit together.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's real. Look, man, I know you've been home for a little while now. You know, what would you say was the biggest obstacle when you was making that transition, though, back into normal society?
And you know, bro, jail affects different people differently, man. With me, it kind of ruined my ability to socialize without feeling uncomfortable and shit. So, you know, I could have been a millionaire, bro, but that jail shit fucked me up so bad that, you know, I don't go out and socialize and meet people and do what I should be doing to come up on a bag. I don't feel comfortable around that. I don't feel comfortable around nobody but people that I know and have known for a long time. The shit just destroyed me socially, bro. So, you know, that was the major obstacle. Learning how to just be normal again in the streets. Sometimes that some people, that jail fuck you up so much, you'll never feel normal out here in society. You're going to always feel like an awkward dude, like a sore thumb sticking out. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know you had made the transition into making music, you know, shortly after your return to the streets. What sparked that idea? You know, like what made you go that route?
Yeah, now I was rapping in the penitentiary, man. You know, when I came to Green in 1996, you know, Green was like the most wildest jail in the state of New York, and my whole hood was there basically, and everybody in there was rapping. So I just picked up on it and started rapping too. And I was one of the dudes who said, yo, when I come home, the week I come home, I'm getting in the studio and recording the song. And when I came home, I did that, bro. I came home, I found a newspaper, I rented a studio for $15 an hour, and I went and recorded a couple of songs, and I told my people, I said, yo, I got a studio in Brooklyn, come through. And we just started making music, and I'm just one of the dudes who stuck to that shit for as long as I possibly could, and I made a little bit of ground with it. And, you know, I see people I was up north with, and they be like, yo, I ran into a dude the other day while I was driving. And you know, this shit was deep, man, because I pulled up to the light, and he ran up to the light asking for money. And, you know, then he seen me and was like, oh, shit, St. Laz. He said, yo, bro, I be watching your channel, but I was locked up with you. We was in Green together in 9-6. You feel what I'm saying? And he told me, he said, I remember you used to be in the yard saying you gonna go home and rap. And I seen you did it, bro. You had the video with Kiss and all of that. He started telling me about, and he said, yo, I remember when you was saying you was gonna rap when you was in jail, and I'm just happy to see you actually came home and did that shit, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And it made me feel fucked up because son was homeless. You feel me? So I had to, you know, that day, I was complaining about my life and shit that particular day. And then that was a snapback into reality, like, yo, I could have it a lot worse out here, bro. Niggas is out here in the street asking for money at red lights. It's not a game out here.
Yeah. You know, I've known you, man, for like over 15 years now. You know, and I personally know that you made well over 1,000 songs or more. You know, and that's no exaggeration. You got a long list of both underground and big name mainstream artists, you know, that you collaborated with, made videos with. You got features from over the years. You know, I also know you came from the era of the mixtapes and the DJs and all that. You appeared on thousands of mixtapes, you know, from some of the biggest name DJs all the way down. You know, and you know, it's a lot of young dudes in here, you know, still locked up, just still wishing and hoping and trying to make it big in the rap game. You know, or even just make a notable name for themselves, even though it seemed like to me, you know, every time we turn around, another rapper getting killed or locked up. You know, now, you and I both know the game is a lot different now than what it once was when we was grinding it out. But I'm sure it's a lot of things that's still the same, too. What kind of advice do you think you could give to some of today's aspiring music makers or rappers?
Save your money up and buy you a feature from a major rapper or somebody that got an extreme buzz, and utilize this Instagram and YouTube shit to go viral with that, and save yourself a lot of grind. Like, I look back at this, bro, my career, you know, eventually I got hip to the game. I started getting features with major niggas that I was putting my own money up to get those features. But then I was mad because I said I should have been doing this shit 5-6 years ago. You feel what I'm saying? I should have been doing this 5-6 years before I started doing it. Like, I should have just got up. I spent $10,000, $15,000 on putting a studio on my crib. I could have took $15,000 at that time and did a song, a video, and radio promo with a major artist. You understand what I'm saying? So all this shit is chess, bro. It's just business, and you can never feel, because you know a lot of dudes out there, like, you know, Conway, shout out to Conway, but he be shooting little subliminals about me, saying shit like, yo, I never paid an artist for a feature. I never spent money on getting a feature. Bro, listen, let me tell you, don't ever be ashamed of being about business. You understand what I'm saying? Don't ever be ashamed of being about your money. Don't ever have too much pride to say, I'm gonna break bread with this nigga, get this nigga 10,000 or 5,000 or 500. Don't ever feel that way, bro, because look at me. Now dudes gotta pay me. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, don't ever feel bad about being about your business. And that's my advice. Get that money up and get a feature.
So, you know, back when I got locked up, man, Instagram was like in its infant stages. You know, YouTube, that was a thing, but it wasn't nowhere near as popular as it is today. You know, and I don't think any of us really knew back then what either of those or any other of these social networking or video streaming platforms will become. You know, I know in the last couple of years, you became real popular on both of those platforms. You know, I want to say you kind of created a whole lane for yourself other than just making music. You know, so what made you kind of transition from that, making music, into creating the street crime, history, and prison story videos?
Yo, bro, you know, I got a habit in life. The story of my life is the money was always right under my nose. And everything I ever did, shit was right under my nose, and I'm too impatient to stop and check the shit under my nose. I'm checking everywhere else instead of under my nose. You feel what I'm saying? Bro, I've been telling these same jail stories all my life. You understand? One day, I seen some niggas online telling some Rikers Island stories, and I said, dudes is telling Rikers Island stories on YouTube? I said, shit, I got 100 of those. You feel me? I said, let me try one out. I told a story about, you know, how I seen a dude make a dude eat a shit sandwich on Rikers Island. Well, in the court building while I was on Rikers Island, in the court in Brooklyn criminal court, I seen a dude make a dude eat a shit sandwich before. And I told a story, and I went to sleep. I woke up, that shit had about 4,000 views. I said, what the fuck? I said, yo, bro, I hadn't received 4,000 views on anything I've done in years, unless it was with a major dude like Pierce or Jones or Conway, or, you understand what I'm saying? Just something that I did get 4,000 views overnight? Never. So I seen that shit, I said, oh my God, I struck oil. I struck oil, bro.
So let me ask you this, man. In your own set of words, what would you say your channel is about? You know, what does it consist of? Why do you even feel it necessary to document all the stories you tell? I mean, you got a lot of them, you know. Like a detailed description, you know, what it is exactly you do on your channel and why.
Yeah, it's basically a true crime and true prison story channel. It's a channel that's predominantly true crime stories and true jail and prison stories. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and lie, bro. I have always been intrigued and infatuated by crime and gangs and violence, and you know, I'm not gonna act like I did. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, where at the age of 7, I seen a nigga get laid down. You understand what I'm saying? And the streets has always been interesting to me. I'm not saying that I glorify it or I like it or love it or it's cool, but it's always been interesting to me. What turned people into shooters, killers, and criminals? So I guess I could say I've always had an interest in criminal psychology. And being that I got caught up in the criminal world, knowing goddamn well that I was a bright, gifted, and talented little kid that was reading on like a 12th grade level when I was in 3rd grade. You understand? I'm still in awe of this criminal lifestyle, because a lot of us that got sucked up in it are highly intelligent, gifted young men, were young men, and we could, if we would have had a different route, we could have been presidents and senators and whatever the hell we wanted to be. You feel what I'm saying? So it intrigues me to understand our story. Not just the story of New York or Brooklyn or Brownsville, but the story of black and other minority people that was forced to live in these ghettos, and where we ended up. So that's what my channel is about. It's a historic channel that's just documenting and giving people a chance. You know, let me tell you, bro, it's a therapy channel too, because I realized that when I told a few of my stories, I felt better. I got a lot of shit off my chest on this channel that I never told nobody, bro. And I still ain't going into the full details of my case because I'm filming my documentary now. You feel what I'm saying? And with my documentary, I'm gonna let it all hang out. You understand? But telling some of these jail stories, the shit I went through in the pen, the way I felt, the times I cried myself to sleep because I was homesick and I missed my mother. You understand what I'm saying? Telling these people this shit, the shit it made me, it did wonders for me therapeutically. So I hope I could do the same for others by letting them tell their stories to thousands and thousands of people. I realize that it helps people when thousands and thousands of people heard their story. Like, it really helps a person out when they could say thousands of people heard what I had to say. You feel me? So that's what this channel really is, bro. It's a therapeutic community.
That's what it is. I know you know it already, man, but you know, you got people tuning in from all over the world, you know, sitting on the edges of their seats sometimes watching your videos. You know, did you ever think when you first started doing it that it would become so popular and grow, you know, into what it has become today?
Never, man, never, bro. I was struggling out here. I'm still struggling out here.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I was super struggling before. You understand what I'm saying? So even the light struggling I'm doing now, I'm blessed, bro, and I'm grateful, because it's rough being a rapper, bro. It's rough being a rapper in your 40s, bro. It's rough without no money. So this shit was a blessing from the universe. You understand this whole shit? And now, you know, this is my city, bro. You know, I'm kind of the spokesperson for this city right now. That's how I feel, and that's how a lot of other people feel. But listen, I had to go on live because I'm dropping this episode, but we live right now. Let's keep rolling.
Alright, so look, you know, I haven't seen any of them myself, obviously, you know, because I've been in here, but I've heard that, you know, ever since you started telling these stories and conducting these interviews, you know, with these street legends and other dudes that's inside and outside of prison, that there's been a whole lot of copycats come out of the woodworks, you know, with similar channels trying to do the same things you do. So for those who may not recognize, you know, for themselves, let them know what separates your stories and channel and your videos from all the rest of them that's out there.
You know, I don't knock nobody for what they do, and a lot of dudes that got channels, I inspired them to get channels, and I told them and suggested that they make their own channels and do them. You feel me? But there is a nice handful of people out there that just, you know, they just be ODing with the biting. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my bro John Dilly. My bro John Dilly told me the other day, like, yo, son, dudes trying to make McDowell's on you. You remember they coming to America? Son had McDowell's, like, you got the 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickled onions with no sesame seed bun. You heard? So shout out to my nigga John Dilly. He had me crying with that. But dudes be making McDowell's out here, bro, and it's like, yo, I mean, what's becoming a trend though is, you know, dudes be hollering at a lot of dudes on my YouTube page. Like, I got like 3 or 4 individuals that have been hollered at by major cats from them seeing their stories on my channel, and it's like, it ain't they fault. I want niggas to get hollered at, but the niggas that be hollering sometimes, they be trying to cut the middleman out, which they think is me, but I'm not the middleman, I'm the man. You feel what I'm saying? So these niggas I don't know what they be doing, but, you know, LAZ, man, you know, I came out with my little shit, and, you know, a lot of dudes running with my ideas. I'm talking about not just dudes on YouTube. I'm talking about industry niggas who I will not mention now, but soon I'm gonna start having to mention niggas. I'm talking about rappers, all type of shit, major rappers and all of that. Niggas be nibbling off the channel, but they don't holler. Like, nigga, if you gonna nibble, if you gonna be nibbling, you might as well holler with some bread, nigga. Like, you feel me? Like, what the fuck? I mean, obviously you watch the channel, nigga. Holler at me with some paper or opportunity. I'm gonna stop saying that too. You ain't got to holler at me with bread. Holler at me with the plug, nigga.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, because I don't know if you know it or not, but you're somewhat of a celebrity. You know what I mean? From the rap game to now with all the YouTube notoriety and shit. What kind of advice then would you give to like an aspiring hood journalist, so to speak, or a YouTuber, such as yourself, who want to try and find their own lane and create a sizable audience for themselves?
If you're gonna come into this shit, be a real journalist. Don't be a smut peddler. See, some of these dudes on YouTube, they smut peddlers, bro. That's all they on YouTube for, to argue and beef and shit on the next man and expose the next man, and you understand what I'm saying? Disrespect the next man. That shit is corny. We grown ass men with kids. I would hate to think niggas got kids. I would hate to think niggas got kids. A lot of these niggas that be doing shit like this. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but for the most part, that's the biggest piece of advice I could give an up and coming YouTuber that want to come into this genre. Don't come in this shit just to be a smut peddler, because we got 100 smut peddlers already. Come into this shit to drop some jewels and change some lives with your content, because that's what I'm trying to do.
So as far as the present or the near future is concerned, what's St. Labs working on today? Like, what you got cooking up, and what can we look forward to?
I'm working a comedy movie that's coming along greatly, man. Like, I can't believe how silly I am when I sit down and write a comedy. Like, I never sat down and wrote a comedy before, but I'm doing it now, and it's just very hilarious, man. Very hilarious, and I'm excited that, this type of shit is coming out my pen, you heard? So it's like, if you out there, you got about a couple of $1 million, and you want to invest in a real classic hood classic comedy like Friday, get at me, bro, because I got an idea for a comedy movie that will not lose, and I'm writing it right now, and it's crazy.
Yeah, that's dope as hell, man. I hope to see it on the big screen for real, sometime soon. And I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot of people looking forward to it as well, I just want to say congrats, on all you've been able to accomplish so far, because I'm sure, in a sense, you're just like me, man, where you probably feel like there's still mountains to climb. Nothing ever comes to us easy. It's always like an uphill battle, and it feels like the work is never done. But I know that shit ain't nothing new, you're conditioned for this shit, and I know that for a fact because, I've known you, and I've watched you from a distance for years, and I know how you grind. I've seen your work firsthand. So, I wish you nothing but continued success, and hopefully by the time, I get to exit these doors, I'll be able to join you in the work hands-on, that's going to assist you in bringing some of those visions to life, as well as improving and uplifting our communities and the youth in particular. That's certainly my focus. But, with that all being said, is there anything else or any other information you want to make the people aware of or would like to speak on?
I just want to say, bro, you a humble dude. Your podcast is fire, but I'm going to tell you like this, bro. We all know that's familiar with your stories on this channel. You're a prolific writer yourself, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the way you be spitting these stories, you're a serious writer, my nigga. And a lot of your stories could be adapted to television and film very easily. So, I'm looking forward to a dude like you coming home, because I know how you used to hustle. For those that don't know, Truth Parker was also DJ for show, one of the biggest mixtape DJs in the industry. You feel what I'm saying? And I was on a whole bunch of his mixtapes. But I know from the way you was grinding with that mixtape game, I know when you come home and get your hands on this YouTube game, it's gonna get crazy.
No doubt.
And I'm just happy to have allies like that.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Shit, man. In closing, just go ahead and let the people know, man, where they can find you or how they can get at you or get in contact with you if they got a story to tell you or whatever. And if you got any other shout outs or closing comments, man, it's on you.
Yeah, man, you already know. Ski Man, Suicide Polo with the Ski Man, running around the hood like He-Man. At 3 a.m., 3 swams, looking for a dude that ran off with 3 grams. You heard? Holla at me on YouTube, st.laz St. Laz. Hit me up on Instagram at Real St. Laz. That's another thing. I'm starting to run Instagram. You heard? I run Instagram right now. I don't want to speak too soon and then my shit fall off. But right now, I am that dude on Instagram, so make sure you follow me at Real St. Laz. I'm up to 30,000 followers. I've been on Instagram like 20 years with 5,000 followers. I'm finally coming up. I'm happy.
Okay, that's what it is, man. Well, there you have it, folks. Laz, man, I know you're a busy man and all that, so I ain't gonna hold you. You know, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with me. You know, you're more certainly welcome to come back and check in with us at any time. You know, and for the listeners, I hope y'all was able to grab onto some of these gems that he was dropping in here. You know, I would suggest that if you haven't already, you know, do some research, man. Get yourself familiar with this man's work. You know, Google probably got a spreadsheet a mile long on him. That's no bullshit. You know, he's definitely a prime example of one who was once lost and found himself, you know, created a whole lane and leveled up. You know, took it upon himself to make his situation better. Now out here getting to it, feeding his family the right way, and giving the community some real life, heartfelt history lessons, you know, and detailed documentaries, while still providing a voice to the voiceless men and women that's still locked down. You know, he did his own time, stayed 10 toes down, stayed motivated and focused, had a vision and turned his life around, you know, and was able to turn a negative situation to a positive one, big time. And I tell y'all that all the time, you know, anything's possible when you not only put your mind to it, but also put the work in it takes to achieve whatever goals you're striving for. And he's a true living example of that. You know, that's just my thoughts, y'all. Till next time. Hopefully you gained something useful today, learned something you may not have known, or just heard something that provoked some deep thoughts within your mind. Please subscribe to the program so you can hear the latest episodes when they drop. If you enjoyed what you heard, please share it on your social networks. And if you know someone else that may find these topics interesting, please tell them where to find us as well. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or just want to drop us a line or two and let me know what you thought about this or any other topic we discussed, you can drop me a message at truthbeyondthesewalls@gmail.com. Any other inquiries or to schedule an interview or possibly have me appear or guest on your platform, please contact realforshowpromo@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Truth Beyond These Walls. I'm also on Twitter at DJ for Show. That's DJ the number 4 SHO. Visuals of this and other episodes are being created as you're listening now, and they can be viewed on YouTube at For Show Promo. That's the number 4 SHO PROMO, all one word. You can also show us some support by purchasing one of our newly designed t-shirts by clicking the links on any of the other social network pages that I just mentioned. Other than that, though, I appreciate you tuning into the program. You could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're right here tuned in to Truth Beyond These Walls.
Lazatola, Brooklyn. Hey yo, Darnell Gun Game, my son's bang. I done drank enough Tang, the fuck you saying? I sell food to my jeweler, so my jewels much huger. You're too Russ Doula. Brownsville, Illinois, niggas ain't illa boy. Gun Reggie Miller boy, shots don't miss. I ain't have a pot to piss and now I'm pissing in a few. The cribs got views. The Jews, Dave Yerman, if they proved A. Vermin, they toupees turning. I be burning GP in that new GT, the Kufi Freeze. I bleed New Giddy, the weed 250 a half, it's the gas. My name Laz out in Brooklyn, I can rap, I be juxin', and I'm good looking. Right? They don't know though. You can stream this game 3D, big range, Black Danny Ainge. I'm in all sports, the rap, the snort, the blicker, of course. When I get it across, I'ma get a gold pock and a big ass cross. And start my coat, 100 years when I'm gone, pop my vote. Yeah, pole star zap it, alien in traffic, the seats Jurassic. Them shits reptiles, we shoot projectiles. I'm what you need and all this goof shit deceiving, the truth is speaking. It's Gen Pop Laz, certified cash. They don't know though. Lazatola. We moving around. It's Brooklyn, Ville.